Hi, my name is Gina Hutchens, and I am in GCU's 201 sociology class with Professor Lois. And this week we were talking about moral development within adolescence. And in doing the research for this particular assignment, I read through the dispositions for learners, and I found a few different dispositions that I do see that are very evident within my life. First off, I strive for excellence. I strive for high expectations. Even if I don't necessarily reach high expectations like I have wanted or see within students or others around me, I can always reevaluate and see where I can make myself stronger and better. I have a high respect for others. I love people no matter what their race, color, or differences around me. I respect them. Even if I don't understand who they are, what they're about, I do strive and ask questions so that I can understand them better, and in a way that shows a huge respect. Professional conduct within the workplace. Conduct is displayed through my conversations with coworkers and with the students around me, how I interact with them, and also the follow-up that I have through email, phones, other media that we might use, and also through dress. Another one is reflection of self is displayed in how I strive more within my job position for more excellence. I strive to see how I can better myself, what different types of trainings that are necessary for my position, and take additional classes as needed. And also, like what I'm doing now in earning my degree, I'm only striving for a better self. Honesty and compassion. I always strive to be honest and have accountability in areas where honesty is a must. Transparency is always key. And I usually always have compassion for others, which is also mirrored in why I have respect for people. Advocacy for others within my position. I always try to advocate for students. I work alongside the counseling department, and we are always trying to find ways to help education for our students' work. We come with students who maybe halfway through the year come to our school struggling for credits, and all they can focus on is how am I going to get through the day so I can support my family. And so as an advocator, learning what they love and what they want to do alongside with these counselors at our school, we advocate for them. However, needless to say, I do see that I can always become better. The dispositions that I know I need to work on once I become a teacher in my first year, professionalism. I can always be more professional. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. I have a hard time sometimes working on organization. And so to be a teacher, I believe organization is a must. Organization within the assignments for students, assignments for all the records that you need to have. So I see where this is an area of growth for me that I can have is professionalism within organization. Also, this one's a little hard for me, but respect is one. Even though I do have respect for others, it's more for my patience behind the respect. I do have a respect for all. I usually love all. But when a line gets crossed or I lose respect for someone because of a situation, I usually don't change my mind for a little bit regarding the mentality behind that person. And so I need to have forgiveness. And that's not to say to have somebody walk all over me as a teacher, but it's putting a line down and showing respect for that person and advocating for them as much as I can and as far as I can take that. So professionalism for respect is another area. The last question that was broached to us as students was about what does a professional educator look like and how do they behave? And looking at the teachers within the school that I work at, I'm blessed with amazing role models. They come as the cream of the crop within our district, and I say that with very high regard. But it's because of who they are, what they believe, and what they strive for. They are professional in the way they act, the way they teach, and the way they present themselves. We want nothing but the best for our students, and so they show that in everything that they do. They are advocates for their students. They know that every child doesn't learn the same, and they're willing to work with the students and see the students as an individual and not as a class. And so to see that when I'm in a classroom observing or, sometimes even helping out, to see the love and respect that they have for their students is really eye-opening. They also work with their parents of these students. They're not just settled with trying to send home a flyer with the students to the parents, but they're willing to take time to call the parent and to work with the parent to see what works for the students. They also respect themselves. They respect others around them and their families that they work with. And so that alone is something that shows what a true educator is. They also seek ways that they can grow through trainings and workshops and self-improvement. They don't even neglect the district trainings that we have. We go above and beyond that as much as we can, as much as they can. We attend workshops as much as we can, curriculum workshops, what works educational-wise, but also they, as a staff, look for ways to have a team mentality to work with the students. They are not in it alone, where one teacher might have them for history, another teacher might have them for science or for language arts, and so together they are working to better the student. And then self-improvement is always a huge one that they embody. If they are not okay mentally and physically, they reach out for help. And professionally, I think that is a strong stance to take, because if you're not healthy in a physical or mental way, you can't be healthy enough to reach the students. Another question that was broached to us was how teachers' dispositions positively or negatively influence the development of adolescents. Here's where I struggled to answer this question, but I don't see how teacher dispositions can negatively affect the development unless teacher dispositions are not what they should be. In reading the Code of Ethics, there was everything in there to, line you out for a successful career in being an ethically correct teacher. So if you weren't following the code of conduct or you're not following the dispositions of learners, there's where it could affect students negatively, but positively, it creates a safe, caring, and learning professional environment for students to learn, grow, and even make mistakes. That's what growing up is all about, learning and developing. But when teachers show that they care and that they have a respect for the students, they see them as an individual, it changes the way that students see themselves. I heard it once said this past week in talking with the educators at our school, is that if you give a student the world, they change the world because they themselves feel empowered. And in that, I want to embody that as a teacher myself.